Connors, Degrassi, Unpopular Opinions. Hey there, hello there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond and welcoming you to another Degrassi Unpopular Opinion / Hot Take. And today we take a look at the last principal not named Simpson in the Degrassi era. So the principals in the Degrassi era. Well, if you're talking OG, if you want to add OGs, that's fine. But Mr. Lawrence was the principal in junior high, and in Degrassi High there was an unnamed principal. He or she was never named. Raj was the figurehead, like the scene authority figure, but he wasn't the principal. He was the vice principal. People forget about that. And then you got yourself Radich coming in to be the principal of Degrassi Community School in Degrassi Next Gen from seasons 1 to 4 until his untimely departure due to a few factors. One, obviously, is that his Radich, the character, basically screwed up with the Rick Murray situation. I don't think it was all about like like him ignoring Rick. There were other factors in play, and also it was Radich, the actor. The actor who played Radich was not getting paid enough, or basically he was in so few episodes that basically, it wasn't worth flying from the West Coast to Toronto to tape and then come back. So basically, to save on money, and I think because Dan Woods thought that basically someone else had to step in, he decided to step aside, which was amazing. But you know what? Good for him. And then Hatzalakos stepped in. I don't know how much training she had as an authority figure, but basically Hatzalakos had a good principalship. Unfortunately, though, her timidness to punish Peter was basically her downfall, but she's still one of the best ever. And then when Hatzalakos left to go to Saskatchewan to deal with her ailing mother, then the Shep was brought in. Unfortunately, the Shep basically favored Lakehurst / jocks over Degrassi people / nerds. But he does end up going to sensitivity training, and basically that wasn't enough to save his job. He gets fired, and then Hatzalakos comes back from Saskatchewan, not because the principalship is now open. It's just basically to help Peter with his drug problems. So basically, she comes through for a season and then basically decides to go back to Saskatchewan, leaving the school in Simpson's capable hands. Simpson basically runs the school from seasons 10 to 13 and a half. Well, half of season 14 before he gets dismissed. And then Simpson ends up coming back in season 15 thanks to the fact that basically his inattentiveness towards Degrassi youths actually worked out in his favor. And from 15 to 18, or next class, he's the principal. Of course, there's got to be more than that. Now, I know I say this a lot in a lot of my videos, but basically, the person who ran the school for the second half of season 14 was a bit of a pain in the ass. I just have to swallow a bitter little pill. Oh yeah, that is the person's name, Deidre Pill. Ha ha ha. So anyway, she's described as Tiny's aunt because Tiny said he has an aunt who works in the school board. Well, in the school system, I think, because the school board can't get one of their own to take over for a principal mid-year. So basically, she comes in and she basically lays the hammer down on Degrassi with 4 policies and all that. No backpacks, although that's kind of awkward. It's like you have to go to the locker between classes to get your books for other courses, unless you know what you're doing. The no cell phones policy, fair enough. However, like parents probably didn't like it because they said, well, what if I have to tell my kids something? I guess you'll have to go to the school. Number 3 is the cameras in the hallway thing, just basically to make sure that there's no trouble in the hallways. And 4 is the no affection policy, or the NAP policy. Well, I can tell you this much. 2.5 out of 4 was good. The no backpacks policy, I can understand that and all that because they're hiding stuff. And the no cell phones policy is terrible. Is right because of the Degrassi nudes and sharing those pics and basically Zoe and all that. Those 2 I agree with. Now, of course, Deidre Pill actually punished Zoe by cafeteria duty. So he was basically told either you do community service or you can serve up to 5 years in jail for child pornography distribution. So he basically thinks that the police have nothing else better to do, but no, the school's in shambles. Basically, everyone hates Zoe. Zoe decides to try to smuggle cell phones in to try to get more likable. But Pill catches her, and surprisingly, Pill decides to give Zoe another chance, and Zoe uses her second chance and does better. So basically, Zoe got what she wanted. Unfortunately, I think Zoe should have been punished. And I think all the cheerleaders got detention for the rest of the year because of their policy, because of what happened. Could have been worse. They could have been suspended or expelled. Zoe should have been expelled. But anyway, Pill wasn't really involved that much in the second half of season 14, as much as you think. Well, yeah, she basically tries to break up a fight between Jack and Imogen and all that. And basically, they didn't want to come out as being gay and all that. Although Pill would have understood probably. But later on in season 14 was when basically things looked bad. So after all, so Claire basically is told that she should run for valedictorian. And basically she decides to. However, Pill gets Claire's ire up because Pill basically tells Claire that your friends are worried about you since losing the baby and all that, and you're having your issues and all that. And Claire's like, how do you know? Says, I look at the cameras and all that. I hear what they say. Your friends are worried about you. Claire's like, what? And the cameras in the hallway. Okay, that's one thing. Cameras in the hallway can be effective. However, Pill decides to use her authority to basically say, okay, then I want it audio because I need to hear everything. So basically, she's butting in on students' conversations for her own fucking ego. I'm sorry, but that's the way it is with me. I think that Pill, in the right sense of mind and in the right way, could have pulled this off perfectly. However, it was terrible. Look at the audio. Claire decides to forego being valedictorian for the right to be heard, and basically the truth outweighs the consequences of being valedictorian. She basically tells the school that basically, I don't know why I should be valedictorian in a school that basically the authority figure is basically spying on you with cameras with audio because she needs to make herself feel better about herself. Of course, Pill's not too happy about it and tells Claire, you have a great job to be a politician, but this is not politics, this is valedictorian. Basically, Claire decides to look at the cameras. Allie tries to calm her down, saying, Claire, what are you doing? You're going to do something you're going to regret. Oh no, I have to do this. So she basically baseball bats every camera and all that, and basically tells Pill, you can't spy on us just for your own ego. Claire, of course, loses valedictorian to Connor, but Claire serves a massive 2-week suspension according to Winston. However, Claire doesn't get expelled. Well, of course, I think Claire loses her student council presidency or something like that too. Yeah, I think Claire loses her spot because Pill's upset. I know some people would probably say that Connor got the valedictorian spot because of race, but I doubt it. He could have gotten it because he never challenges Pill's authority and all that. And basically, Pill is rewarding people who actually will suck up to her. A lot of people also say, what about Winston? Did Winston get a lot of perks because he kind of outed Zoe in such a way? I know Winston and Frankie, what they did to hurt Zoe was wrong, but it had to happen. I mean, like, frig. If they didn't say anything, then Zoe would have escaped without any charge and all that. But to me, maybe Pill was afraid to punish Frankie because, Frankie's the daughter of the now mayor, Hollingsworth, and he might threaten to ruin Degrassi and her reputation, as in Pill's. It's about sucking up to Hollingsworth, I guess. So basically, yeah, Winston, it seemed like Winston got a lot of perks and all that. Maybe she's thanking him for outing the school's Degrassi News thing. But anyway, so after that, we get the two-part finale finally, which was supposed to be the end of Degrassi Once and For All. That's what everyone was rumored to be. And then they would have ended with a summer movie and then game over. No more Degrassi. However, that's not true. And finally, we find out that Connor makes a proposal to Becky. I mean, not Becky, pardon, Jenna, off school grounds. Drew decides to proposal on Becky because, he likes Becky. And I know everyone says, why was Drew involved with Becky? I mean, freak, that's his brother's ex girlfriend. Jeez, Drew. So anyway, Drew gets embarrassed by it. Unfortunately, the proposal goes to Pill, and Pill basically decides to say, Drew, you're not allowed to go to the prom. And Drew, to his credit, actually takes it in stride and doesn't go to the prom until his mother said that you should go to the prom and save Dallas because, Dallas misbooked a boat for 1 year later than it was supposed to be. So basically, she goads them in a sense. And Drew basically decides to go into the school and get some decorations and throw the prom at the dot. I originally thought it was at the school. It would have made sense. But no, at the dot. Drew pulled it off. Unfortunately, though, not so fast. At graduation the next day, I guess the next day or a few days later, Pill is basically upset, saying that Drew used his passcodes to get into school because only him, as student council president, and Pill knew the passcodes, and basically said, did anyone else put you up to it? Now's the time. Drew basically says, nobody. He basically leaves Dallas out of the problem. And Pill says, well, congratulations. You're not going on stage for graduation. Huh? You're going to graduate, but you'll get your diploma, but you will not cross the stage. And I have to make sure that everyone knows the rules for next year. Basically, I have to make sure that they know I'm in charge. Dallas and some of the other seniors are shocked, but they saw it. And then they did the We Love Drew with the caps. Pill then basically says, if there's one thing I know about the school is that they stick together. So basically, she allows Drew to get on stage. Drew's mom is proud of Drew, even though that he can't cross the stage. Even though Drew said, I feel bad because none of your boys made it. Adam died and I'm not on stage. But says, forget it. You did fantastic. I'm on face range too. So basically, Drew is happy and all that. And then, that was supposed to be the end of it. And a lot of people probably thought, oh, well, I guess in future Degrassi iterations, Pill is basically making Degrassi into a hellhole. And then after the summer movie, Tristan then says in his vlog that you think things are bad now. Wait till the next class comes in. I'm like, really? They couldn't cancel it on a high note? So guess what? We get another Degrassi season. And guess what? Simpson's back in charge. It's like, how did Simpson get back? Now, this is kind of an unpopular opinion to the Degrassi people. But here's what I think happened. I know a lot of people said that basically she was just in as a replacement and she was never going to come she wasn't going to come back for the next school year anyway, no matter what happened because Simpson, and it all depended on Simpson. Is he okay? Is he okay to still be a principal? And that's the thing. Like Simpson was clear because Simpson's lack of knowledge actually helped him out, and the school board realized that yeah, Simpson acted terribly because he didn't know much about Degrassi News, and it was basically secretive around all the students. So Simpson's back as principal, and I was like, well, there would have been a new principal. Either Simpson comes back, or basically they find someone else to take over for Pill. But here's the thing. Pill screwed herself up. Her freaking ego ruined her, in a sense. It's kind of like Radish and Shep, and possibly Hatzalakos with an ego. Simpson, I don't think, had too much ego. Maybe next class he did, but here's the thing. Now, her policies, if effective, could be great. I mean, the cameras would have worked if she didn't put audio. Okay, fair enough. I would have given her a bit of a pass on that. But she used audio to find out what's wrong. Basically, it's like she spies on her students like this. Did she do it at her previous principal job if she had one? It's like invasion of privacy. This parents would be pissed. Too many P's. But here's the thing, though, too. is that the no affection policy. I know schools have a no affection policy, and mostly because private schools or religious schools like Catholic, private Christian or private Catholic schools have that. Okay, fair enough because of their policies, and some have changed their tone to be more modern. Fair enough. However, the no affection policy was just, it just didn't make any sense. How the hell can affection ruin things? What was her role in the no affection policy? That is the one thing that pisses me off more than anything. It's the no affection policy. It just didn't make sense. Like, honestly, how could she think that affection leads to trouble? Okay, maybe Jack and Imogen, but like, what else? Like, she overreacted. Drew did a proposal, he got shot down, and basically that was supposed to be the end of it. But basically, then Pill decides to throw the book at Drew because we're supposed to have a no affection policy. Now, a lot of people said, wait a minute, Connor made a proposal. Yeah, but he made a proposal to Jenna off school grounds, so he knew the rule. So basically put, Drew, as I said, Drew was going to obey Pill. Like, Drew wasn't going to smash Pill up. But then Drew's mom basically said something. Now, you got to remember, Audra was part of the school board. She wasn't one of the higher ups, if you will. But she was in the sense that basically she could have a big opinion and basically the higher ups would listen to her. Like, she's the one who tells Drew you have to save the prom and all that. Does she know something we all think she knows or she doesn't know? Yeah. Maybe, Drew told Audra about his school and how it's being run and all that. And maybe Audra got the sense that basically Drew was not bluffing. So basically, once she kind of found out about the school's policies, he says, you got to help the school out. And remember, Audra was in the audience when sitting with Drew when everyone got their diplomas. So Audra obviously had an inkling. And basically, maybe she was one of the main reasons why Pill never came back. I know maybe Pill just came back for half a year. But think about it. Maybe Drew's mom had the foresight to tell her higher ups and basically they investigate Pill and realize that Pill is overstepping her boundaries, especially with the cameras and the no affection policy. And maybe they think, you know what? We're not bringing her back for next year. The Degrassi student body would probably not like it. So basically, they make the idea that they might as well get rid of Pill now while they still can. And even if Simpson was never cleared to come back to Degrassi, maybe they put in a new principal. Maybe Hatzalakos comes back somehow. I doubt it. Maybe Radish comes back. Doubt it. I don't know. Maybe the chef comes back. Hell no, baby. So basically put, Audra was there. She kind of witnessed Drew's punishment and all that. And that was the last straw. She basically told the school board higher ups about Pill's policies. And maybe that was the last straw. And that's why Pill was never brought back in season 15. Although we weren't really supposed to have a season 15 if everything went according to plan. Say what you want about Deidre Pill. She's not the worst principal in Degrassi history. In a way, she kind of it. Some people say she's the third best of the 5 principals. Hatzalakos, Simpson, 1, 2. But the problem with Pill, with that ranking, is that Pill only was there for half a season, not even a full season. And Raj was there for 3+ seasons. So basically, longevity counts. And that's why Pill's dropped to number 4. But at least she's not Shep. At least she isn't Shep. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.